Oh shit. Hello. I promised to make you smile. So here I am wearing some goofy glasses. So I hope the first thing you do when you look at this video is you go, and you smile. Okay, welcome. We're getting some viewers. Happy Monday. Happy pineapples. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for a couple of minutes to get some people to sign on, and you can just enjoy me in these goofy glasses. I'm in the jungle today. See my jungly background. All right. So, welcome to Motivation Monday. I am really excited about this topic. I'm also kind of nervous about this topic because I haven't, I talk to people about motivation all the time, but I haven't actually done like a talk or a discussion about it. And I came up with this idea because I've been feeling it over the last couple of weeks, ups and downs in motivation. And I know that a lot of people are definitely feeling this ups and downs, waxing and waning in motivation. Hopefully it's an up and a down, and it's not just a down. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is the fact, first and foremost, that it's okay to talk about these things. It's okay, even as an athlete, even as a professional athlete, to have a drop in motivation. And the thought that really got me wanting to do this talk was, well, if I'm feeling a drop in motivation and it's my job to train, and this is what I love to do more than anything, and it makes me feel better than anything, and I'm still occasionally dealing with motivation, I can't imagine what some people must be going through right now. And so this live session, this talk, I would love it for it to be participatory. Hi, Veronica, I'm glad you love the glasses. Yeah, just like I said, the first thing I wanted to do, I want to make you smile. So I could put the glasses back on in a minute, but I'll get distracted. So I want this to be participatory. I asked on Facebook and Instagram this morning if people had advice on staying motivated, and I got some really great responses that I'm going to share with you. And if you have questions or advice throughout this chat, please put them in the comments. There's always a slight delay with Facebook in terms of when I actually get to see the comments, but I do see them, and I will benefit from them, and other people will benefit from them as well. So let's be in this together and help each other together, and let's talk about these things, because everyone is going through this and everyone is feeling this in some way. We all deal with things differently. We all have different situations right now, but globally, things are radically altered for everyone in some way, shape, or form, and we all have things to help each other, and we want to be here for each other, especially those of you tuning in right now to these Facebook posts. I know you're here because you care. So, and you're here because you care about yourself as well. So that's really important, and that's really one of the biggest things, is doing this because you care about yourself and you want to take care of yourself so that you can take care of those around you. And so thank you for being here, thank you for participating, and thanks for your energy. And please be patient with myself. Again, this is a new topic for me, lots of new topics that I've been wanting to share with people. So I just feel like a facilitator right now. I'm going to give you my tips and my advice, but also tips and advice that I got from you guys, from my audience. And So again, I'm opening up the table to facilitate this conversation, but it's not just me giving this. This is like everyone sharing what helps us. And so, yeah, let's jump in. It's been a rough one, and a lot of people here, motivation is different and means different things to different people. But what I'm going to talk mostly about is if you're somebody who has a regular training routine, and you're somebody who maybe your training routine was for a specific reason, for a specific goal. If you're a paddle monster person, probably you had specific events that you were training for. And if you're not, even if you're just somebody who had a regular exercise routine or have tried to have a regular exercise routine and you are having a hard time being motivated right now, we're going to talk about that too. And it's hard, right? Like I said, it's my job to train. It's my job to train, but my motivation to train is the competition. And I think a lot of you can can empathize with that your motivation to train is, it oftentimes is event driven. Your goal is an event. And so if that is the case, we have to shift. I'm going to read this from I'll read that more again later, but thank you, Veronica. So we have to shift our motivation from an event-driven motivation or an event-driven goal to something different. So if you're an events-driven person, if you're a results-driven person, and you're having a hard time connecting to that event or those results because there's so much uncertainty right now, it's totally understandable. A lot of us are in that boat. So how can we shift our motivation into something that we can see on the horizon, that we can connect with right now at this time? And so, sorry, I got lost in my notes. So some of the feedback that I've gotten from people this morning, I want to share with you what I asked on Instagram, what keeps you motivated? And a couple of people actually answered something similar, so I think it's a really important thing to share, and it really wasn't even something that I had thought of, and that is, look at how far you have come. If you're somebody who trains regularly, if you're somebody who's been training for something, you have put in so much work to get just even where you are. And so sometimes it helps to have goals that we're looking forward to, but it also can help in times like this to look back at how far you've come and say, look at all of the progress and all of the gains that you have made. And you don't want to lose that, right? So even if you're not in a position to be making serious gains right now, because maybe you can't be outside training, out on the water training, so you're having to come up with new ways to train, you can still be doing a lot of things to simply just to maintain where you are. A lot of what we have to do right now is we have to be patient because there's uncertainty, and we have to give ourselves grace and say, okay, maybe I'm not able to train the way I can normally train right now, but there's still things that I can do. And first and foremost, if I'm having these feelings, say that's okay. Everyone's having these feelings. Accept that you're having these feelings and give yourself the grace for having those feelings and maybe sharing them with others. And then say, okay, maybe I'm not going to be able to push so much for that goal right now, but I can do things to maintain for all of the work that I've already done, and I don't want to lose hold of all the work that I've already done. So motivate yourself. That's one way you can motivate yourself, is to just maintain like how hard you've already worked and how far you've already come, and you want to keep that, right? And then another thing that you can do is to shift your goal. If it's from an event, you can shift your goal to something physical that you can see, something that is a little more under your control right now. So what I mean by that is something perhaps that's physical, like doing, if you have a way to do pull-ups, maybe you've always wanted to do 5, or maybe even you just wanted to do 1 pull-up or 5 or 10 or 20 pull-ups without stopping. Your goal could become something as simple as, I want to be able to, that was something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do a handstand. I've always wanted to do this many pull-ups. I've always wanted to do this many push-ups, right? So think about some of the things that you have always wanted to do that you maybe never actually did take the time to put in the work for, and put in the work for that. And so set maybe maybe just a 1 month or a 3 month or a 6 month goal. That's something physical, that's something tangible, that's something you can get results from, that doesn't have a lot to do with external environment right now. And that physical, it could also be something aesthetic, something like weight gain or weight loss. And yes, for me, for a long time, I was somebody who was trying to gain weight and put on muscle. And so this is a really great time right now at home. If you're somebody who is always trying to gain weight and put on muscle, you're home and you can eat an excess of calories, which you need to eat an excess of calories to gain weight and to gain muscle. And then you know, oh, well, I'm eating these excess calories so that I can gain this muscle. So I definitely need to be doing the strength training that I can do from home, even if it's just body weight training, to turn those excess calories into muscle. And if you're somebody who's always been trying to lose weight, well, then you can set your goal, and maybe you started paddling because it was a way to stay fit and it was a way to lose weight, and maybe you can't paddle right now, but you still have that goal. And so we just need to shift the goal to something that you can physically get to right now. I keep finding changing a goal with trying to come up with ways to meet it so that it's how I lose my motivation. Okay, hold on, I need to see more of this one. Okay. Or not work so hard to achieve them. I find I keep changing a goal with trying to come up with ways to meet it. So that's how I lose my motivation, or not work so hard to achieve them. I don't quite understand what that means. So I'm going to think a little bit more, and I'm going to come back to that, and I will definitely answer that, but maybe not during the live, or maybe you can elaborate a little bit more. So in terms of aesthetics, if you're an athlete, in my experience, so again, I said for a while I was somebody who was always trying to gain weight because I thought if I had more muscle, I would be a faster paddler. And I did become a faster paddler, but then I felt like I got to the point where I was too heavy and I lost a lot of weight. I totally unintentionally lost a lot of weight. It was during my injury. And I realized that actually lighter is faster. So if you're somebody who has struggled at all with weight, or weight is one of your motivations, having a thought like, okay, lighter is faster, or I need to have a better strength to weight ratio so that when I'm able to compete again, I'm going to be elevated from where I was. So that goal, even though it's related to your sport, isn't actually relying on you practicing your sport at all. But knowing that if you reach that goal, you're going to have performance results when you get back to your sport, can help you have a mindset shift there. And if you can still do your sport, if you can still paddle right now, which a lot of us are able to, thank goodness, I know we really appreciate that, and we really feel for those that can't paddle right now or be outside right now very much. So if you can do that, this is a really great time to put in work totally without any pressure of how you're going to perform, of what the results are going to be. I know for a fact that my best performances happen when I am relaxed, when I take the pressure off of myself. So right now, if you're not traveling, if you're not racing, if there's no pressure, but you can still go out and train, yeah, maybe you're like, I don't have that event coming up, so what am I even training for, right? That's how this whole thing started. If there's no race, like I don't need to go out and train today because there's no event, so I can miss this workout, I can miss that workout. I don't need to do this because I don't really need to be getting faster right now. I don't need to worry about that. There's no racing. But if you can go out and keep doing the training that you would normally be doing without any sort of pressure on those performance results, without putting pressure on yourself to be faster, because you don't need to be faster right now, you can do a lot of work, really good quality, high performance work. And for example, I'm not the best at tracking my data, but I'm pretty positive that my speed has gotten faster in the last several weeks because I've been doing more. I've been experimenting again with my technique. And every time that I kind of break apart my technique and work on things that I wouldn't normally work on, because it's not a good idea when you have an event coming up to break down your technique and start changing things. But when you don't have an event coming up, you can break down your technique and start working on changing things. And you can find things that work for you that can make you an even better performer, whether it's paddling or whatever you do, right? So I love that having the time right now without the pressure to perform, without the pressure to have that race or that result on the horizon, allows you the ability to work on things that you wouldn't normally work on, like your technique, right? So the other thing is to remember why you were training in the first place, or why, not necessarily why you were training, but why you love this sport, or why you love exercise, or most importantly, how it makes you feel, right? Most of us here are probably paddlers, and we do it not because we want to win. Okay, I do it because I want to win. But we do it because we love the sport. We love how it makes us feel. You know that feeling when you take a stroke and you just feel that connection and you feel that pull and you're like, it just feels really good, right? So in the moment when you're training, there's so many times where and lately more than others, where I've been like, I don't want to go out and do my training right now. But as soon as I'm out there, as soon as I pretty much, by the time I get through the end of my warm-up, I'm like, it's beautiful. There's animals. There's, and maybe, okay, so maybe you're inside and you can't go paddle right now and you don't want to work out, but you really should. But you start doing it and you feel good. So remember why you are in this. It's because you really love it, this sport, I'm assuming. And you really love the activity, right? I know we love the events, we love the community, we love each other, we love, being connected and being together, things that we're missing right now from this experience. But I'm willing to bet that 99% of the people, 98% of the people watching this right now really love the way it feels to paddle. And the other thing that makes you feel really good when you train is you get an endorphin high. And let's call it a high because that's the way you feel. When you finish a really great training session, you're like, wow, I feel awesome. I just did that, right? And before, it's really easy to say, I don't feel like it. But how many times have you then gone and done it and been like, yes, I'm so glad I did that. I feel really great right now. And one, is you feel proud of yourself because you went and did it. And two, it's the endorphins that get released when you exercise that make you feel good. And that's one of the reasons why exercise is so important for mental health, is you get these endorphins, these happy chemicals pulsating through your brain and your body, and it feels good. So that's one of the human superpowers that we actually have, is connecting our goal with how it's going to make us feel when we achieve our goal, right? So think about that for a second. I just gave you some ideas about, if you're not feeling very motivated right now, maybe we need to shift our goals into something that we can control a little bit more right now. So we can't control when there are events. We can control how many reps of something we want to do, how many push-ups, how many pull-ups, how many calories, how many pounds, how many, whatever it is, something that you can control, and connect to that new shifted goal that's going to make you really motivated, how you're going to feel once you've achieved it. And I highly recommend writing these things down as well. When you write things down, there's a connection that happens there as well. So human superpower, how it's going to make you feel once you've done it, is also going to help you connect to the motivation to achieve that. Right? Okay. And one last thing that somebody else commented that I wanted to share from Instagram is that reading books can really be helpful. There are so many motivational books on the market, and I don't have any that I want to share off the top of my head. I should have come up with that, but I am going to share the one that somebody commented this morning, and they said it's called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. And what I would love is for, if you have a really motivational book that's helped you, please put it in the comments right now so we could start a little list of motivational reads for each other. That would be awesome. That's first set of homework. I'm giving y'all homework. And so now we have hopefully some ideas or some renewed reason why we want to stay training. Why, like, what is our new motivation, our new goal, our new reason that we have that's going to help us stay on track. Now I want to give you some tips on how to keep doing that. And the first thing, and I've talked about this a bunch of times before, is that setting a routine is very helpful in order to get the things done that you want to get done. If you set a routine and if you have habits, you are more likely to do it if it's a habit, if it's a routine, if it's on a schedule, if it's something that you do every single day, right? I love a morning routine that's going to set me up to have a productive day, that's going to set me up to have the mindset that I want to have a successful day. I'm a big proponent of meditating. I do that first thing in the morning. I'm a big proponent of journaling. I do that right after I meditate. And we've talked about a lot of these things about having a, drinking plenty of water, eating a healthy diet, whatever your self-care routines are. The morning is a really powerful time. And so if you're somebody who struggles with motivation to train, do it in the morning. I remember when I was younger, before I was a professional, before I was really even an athlete, I was somebody who, I exercised because I knew it was good for me and I loved it, even though I didn't have a event necessarily to be training for. I was a runner and I would get up in the morning and I would run, and there was definitely times when I would say, oh, I've got something so-and-so else to do today, something to do today, right? And I'll definitely do it this afternoon. I can't tell you how many times in the afternoon I didn't end up doing it, right? Because this happens and that happens. And so in the morning is the best time if you're somebody who struggles with motivation. Just do it first thing. And if you have kids and that's a challenge, you're just going to have to wake up earlier. I don't hate to be brutally honest with you. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Sometimes that means you need to wake up at 4, 5, 6, whatever time in the morning to get your morning, get it done. And even, yes, right now when we don't have, some of us don't have to be going to work right now. We're working from home right now, so maybe our schedules are a little bit more flexible. That's all the more reason to set a routine. And if you're somebody who has other people to take care of in the morning, wake yourself up early enough to take care of yourself first. Because a lot of times it just doesn't happen later in the day. Unless you're somebody who okay, for sure, if my routine is every day at 5 o'clock, I'm going to do it, and you're going to do it, that's great. That's your routine. And if you're going to have to wake up earlier, it just mean you're going to have to go to bed earlier, because sleep is still really important. And if this is important to you and you have goals that you're motivated for, just make the routine to go to bed earlier so that you can wake up earlier so that you can get it done. And one more tip I'll give you on that is if you set an intention the night before, when you're like, I need to get to bed by 9, by 10, whatever time it is, set that intention. The reason you need to get to bed by that time is so that you can get up at X time, so that you can do Y workout. The intention is set even before you go to bed, right? I'm not saying lay there in bed thinking about all the things you need to get done in the morning when you wake up no, don't do that. But just set the intention of, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this, right? So that can be really helpful. And then tell your family, this is what I'm going to do in the morning. My husband did it to me this morning. He's like, babe, I really want to go to ride the bike before I go to work in the morning. And he leaves for work at a little before 7, so he had to be up and out of bed by 5, and sometimes he sets the alarm and I roll over to cuddle, and he doesn't end up getting out of bed because cuddling feels really nice, right? But he told me before we went to bed, he said, babe, you come roll over and cuddle me, but then I want you to kick me out of bed. And so I did, right? Because he told me, I held him accountable. So have your family hold you accountable. And if you don't have your family to hold you accountable, then tell your friends and have them hold you accountable. I have a really great another homework for you all to do, and that is to phone a friend. That is to call up a friend, maybe somebody who was a training buddy that you were meeting with before all this happened. Maybe it's somebody who is in your weekly paddle group that used to meet up that's no longer meeting up, right? And call them up and say, hey, or even just text them up and say, hey, been struggling with motivation. I really miss training with you. What do you say we find a plan to hold each other accountable? Whether or not that's texting each other, like you text me and then I'll text you to make sure that we go out and do our paddle, or if you're training from home and you're having a hard time motivating training from home, a really fun idea, I think it would be a fun idea, is to set up a Zoom workout date. And you can do Zoom for free if it's a small group, or I think just 2 people, or I use Zoom for free all the time, and you can set up a workout date and you can do it together. And so when you have a date and a time set up where somebody else is counting on you to be there, you're more likely to show up and do it, right? So hold each other accountable, phone a friend, training buddy, and just check in with them, because they might be dealing with this too, right? We're all dealing with this, and they might be feeling a certain way. So they would love to hear from you. I know it. And it would help motivate them as well. And you can hold each other accountable to get your work done, right? And so that's your challenge, and the second piece of homework challenge for you. And another great way to hold each other accountable is just being more active on some of the Facebook groups, like the Paddle Monster 100 group. If you set an intention to put it on the group, say, hey, everybody, you don't have to say that you've been slacking, but you can put a post on there saying, I'm not able to paddle, but this is my goal for the week. I'm going to let you guys know how it went. Or this is my goal, right? So just put it out there, put it on the Facebook group, check out all the other motivating things that people put on there, and use that to hold yourself accountable for going out and reaching those goals. And one more tip, this is kind of a weird tip, but it's something that's helped me in the past. I don't currently take a traditional pre-workout. I do take some herbal caffeine and sometimes other supplements. However, I have in the past taken a pre-workout supplement before training sessions. And sometimes in the morning when I would wake up and I would be tired and I wouldn't want to go train, sometimes I would just like I wouldn't even think about it. I would just down the pre-workout, right? And it was kind of like, well, I'm committed now, because if you've ever taken pre-workout and then not worked out, it's a pretty awful experience. And so I'm like, again, if you're not a pre-workout person, don't worry about it. But if you are a pre-workout person, or if you think you need some chemical stimulants in order to help you be more motivated, pre-workout is very good at that. And taking it, you're committed, because if you don't go train, you're going to be like itchy, burny, like, right? So, so sometimes it just takes like, just take the pre-workout. Okay, I got to do it now, right? And the last thing that I want to say is that following a program is another really great way to stay on track. You don't have to, you can use your coach to hold you accountable. You can use, but the other thing that helps with that is, like, you don't have to sit and think about, oh, how much have I done? What should I do? Did I work out enough this week? Do I need to do more? Do I need to do less? Should I rest? Should I write? You have a plan and you follow it. And if you're not sure, you have a coach that you can ask, right? So having a training plan, having a training program is really helpful to stay on track, because it just takes a lot of the thought and the question out of it. It gives you the confidence that you know that you're doing the right things. And if you're, we have training programs on Paddle Monster. That's what our main offering is group training programs. And I also, this year, a lot of people don't know, I opened up an option for custom training programs this year. And I'm even writing custom training programs right now for paddlers that are totally on lockdown, stuck at home. It's been a challenge, but I'm coming up with workouts that they can do with whatever they have at home. Everybody's got different things that they have at home, whether they have bands or balls or a bike or a pool or nothing. There are things you can do, and a coach can help you. I can help you come up with what those things are that you can do, and we can come up with a plan together. So if you need some help coming up with a plan to reach your goals, maybe because they're new goals and you don't know exactly what to do to reach them, reach out, let me know. I would be more than happy to help you with that, because that's what we're here for. That's what we do. And so that's pretty much all I have to say. If you're really struggling with mental health right now, I recommend, if you're somebody who is spending a lot of time checking on media sources, that you just give yourself a little bit of a cleanse from that. I don't have a TV. I don't watch any TV. And I was for a while, like, checking online all the updates and all the corona things. And I just stopped doing it. And tell you what, I don't feel like I'm missing a thing. And I feel really happy for it. So I'm not saying, like, stop watching the news. Well, I kind of am saying stop watching the news. But if it's really wearing on you, you can filter a little bit of it out. You can give yourself a little bit of a space for it, and you're going to feel better for doing so. The media is not known for making people feel good about life. It's meant to make things feel dramatic and, right, all crazy. So take a little media cleanse, and reach out if you need help. Reach out to your friends and your training partner, your family, and hold each other accountable. And let's set some new goals, and let's get through this together. And I'm here for you, whatever you need. All right, I'm gonna put the glasses back on. Oh yeah, now we're just gonna be funky, 'cause that's all I got for you. I wonder how long people will stand here watching me in my glasses. I still got quite a few viewers. Any comments? Let me go through, like, did anyone put down their favorite book? Okay, Veronica said something that I didn't read. Aw, thanks, Veronica. Don't worry, I definitely do put myself first. It's something I'm really good at. But I also think I'm pretty good at helping others, and I know that again, helping other people is actually a way to make yourself feel better too. So we're all in this together, and I'm a big proponent of self-care, because that's definitely something that I do, but I just appreciate that you're so sweet, Veronica. And you're also sweet. Thank you so much for watching. So one thing that I did ask, if you missed it, just put down your favorite motivational book. We got one from, oh no, it's not a book. He wants me to do a perfect stroke video. Don't worry, it's coming. I'm going to be doing more stroke technical stuff on lives and hopefully, webinar version of clinics that I can't be doing in person right now. Working on it. But Coach Larry has been putting up some really great land drills and technical advice, and so I've kind of just been letting Larry, for now, on the Paddle Monster site, take over the technical, and I will be giving you more technical advice. But stay tuned. My Instagram, I'm doing weekly and bi-weekly posts on technique and bingo, answer to my dilemma, routine. Yes, guys, the life has changed, so our routines have to change, right? But routines are super helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And sending lots of good vibes, lots of motivation for your week. I hope you have an awesome week. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how you got on this week. Hopefully you felt more motivated. Okay. Bye.